It's almost like now you have to go out in the wild, into the wilderness. If you have conservative thoughts, if you're not buying into the agenda, oh man, my bad. This is Mujahid the Magnificent One, the host of the Pookie and Ray Ray Show. Coming to you, you know what I'm saying, live. Ah, damn, I ain't even got 1,000 subs, so I can't come live yet. Anyway, another day, another dollar. You know what it is. Like I was saying, it's gotten so bad now with this cancel culture. Now you can't even express yourself. You can't even speak freely because now you have a group of people that are supported by the 12 families. The goal is to like destroy everything that we once knew. To create like this AI community. You know, it's weird and it's crazy. Like double X, XY, double, XY or double X. It's just, man, when you look at like the state of society and like the transition over, and like when you look at like the history of humanity in relatively a short span of time, you're not talking about like a long period of time. This, this transition with these transformers and, with like these professional baby mamas, this shit is like happening, like, 4 decades, 3 decades. No family reunions anymore. It's crazy because I remember every year it was like mandatory. It wasn't even a question, man. When like the Brown family reunion came around, every year, Findlay, Ohio, you already knew what it was. Oh yeah, on that side of my family, which is my mother's father's side of my family. Like we're descendants of Thomas Jefferson. His concubine, Sally Hemings, one of the daughters that they had, Fancy, married, she's my 5th generation great-grandmother, married my 5th generation great-grandfather, Godfrey Brown. And they migrated from Brunswick, Virginia to Greenfield, Ohio. So, starting in 1821, his oldest son, Godfrey Brown's oldest son, was emancipated at a courthouse in Brunswick, Virginia, and came to Greenfield, Ohio. And for the next, there were 12 or 13 children. So upon the 21st birthday, each child of Godfrey, each grandchild of his father who owned the plantation, were emancipated upon their 21st birthday. And family was everything. Like when I was born, not going back to like the 19th century, but going back, to like the 70s. Going back to like the 70s and the early 80s, family was still a big thing. It's like every year, you already knew. There was no question. When it came time for that family reunion, everybody was piling up in them cars. I don't care how many, cars it was, you was piling up in them. And everybody was taking that ride from Columbus, Ohio to Findlay. About an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours max. But it was a beautiful situation because when you arrived, you had cousins, you had relatives you hadn't seen since like the last family reunion. Everybody, it was like this famous ice cream company up in Findlay, Ohio, that made the best vanilla ice cream you ever tasted in your life. And man, I used to just look forward to it every year. So flash forward to like 2023. I haven't heard of a family reunion. You don't even see families. And this is all, in part thanks to the Democratic Party, who have had like the unquestioning vote of like Black America for like the past 40 or 50 years. So now you have a movement, SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Man. You got FBA, Foundational Black Americans. You got ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves. You got MGTOW, men going their own way, red pill, black pill. And of these, I tend to identify with like the black pill. Like, let this shit burn. Probably the best thing is to let this shit burn. Because like the women from our community have taken like the contract with the government. So they're cool with like Section 8 with some food stamps and with like Zaddy taking care of them. And that's basically what it is. So now brothers, are going abroad. You got like the passport, bro. So what I failed to mention. Haven't got my passport yet, but it's in the works. But don't need to right now because I got a nice little, Somalian joint that's not creating any type of problems. Not causing a headache. She's compliant. As black men, we're egalitarians, so, we get along pretty good. But the bullshit, that's going on, I forgot to mention, it's fucking jab. This fucking jab that's like killing people. You got young people dropping from fucking heart attacks. 18-year-olds. Look at Bronny. Like, come on, man. Seriously. Like, seriously. When I first got back from Baltimore, when I first came back to Columbus from Baltimore, I got back the day before Easter Sunday. I went over my aunt's, my favorite aunt, my mother's little sister. Went over there. One thing about my aunt, this particular aunt, I don't care where you were, what you were doing. When you went over there, she always had a big pot of food. You could always get a nice hot plate of food. So I go over, just got back from Baltimore. Things, went sour with me and my little ex. Nice girl. Can't say anything bad about her. Beautiful girl, in fact. But things didn't work out, so I came back. The following day happened to be Easter Sunday. Went over my aunt's. Traditionally, there's always a hot plate. Food is on the stove. I see the food cooking. So we sit down at the kitchen table. We make small talk. And afterwards, I'm like, NTC. I see the food there. This is my aunt. It's not even a question. I already know I got a plate coming. So I see the food. It's like now everybody's pretty much backing up from the pork. And if they're not, they're using like turkey as seasoning for the greens for those who don't eat pork. So I'm seeing the greens, I'm seeing the mac and cheese. I'm seeing, all the traditional shit for like Easter Sunday. And I'm like, NTC, I'm like, can I get a plate? And the conversation shifts. She's like, have you had your jab? I'm like, have I had my jab? She's like, yeah, have you had your vac? I'm like, have I had my vac? I'm like, I got all my vacs as a child. Outside of that, I'm not a dog. I already had, I had my rabies. I had my tempers. I had like all them shots and shit, man. All them shots that you get when you're a little pup. I had them shots. So she's like, nah. I mean, have you had that beer shot, that Corona shot? I'm like, nah, and I'm not getting it. She's like, whoa, you gotta go. So I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, if you haven't had your vac, you gotta go. I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. So my man's back in Detroit calls me up because he knew I was coming. You don't sit in his way. He's like, what's up, bro? Where you at? I'm like, I'm down in Ohio, man. I'm down in Columbus, man. I'm over my aunt's house. He's like, what's up? You coming up here? I'm like, shit, man. I just got kicked out the crib. My aunt just kicked me out, man. He's like, for what? I'm like, man, I ain't took that jab. And like, she held big on like this jab. And like, since I haven't taken that jab, I'm a slipping weed, man. I grew up fighting, man. I'm not taking no jabs, man. I'm not just coming and letting you voluntarily, stick me with shit. Especially I don't know what the fuck it is, man. But she was like, if you haven't had the jab, you gotta go. So basically, I haven't been back. And I have no intentions. And I have no intentions on returning because I realized that when I was away for those 25, no one was kicking the door down to like get in to see me. It was a real easy process. Fill out a visiting form, and then, you know what I'm saying, come down with your ID, present your ID, and come on in and, you know what I'm saying, visit your loved ones. And I used to see guys every day going out there visiting them. You know, occasionally, you know what I'm saying, somebody would come up, you know, but it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, the people you expected. It wasn't those immediate family members. So when I came home, got my CDL, I'm on the road, I'm driving. And my favorite aunt, this is before, you know what I'm saying, like the Easter Sunday incident. My favorite aunt, her son, he gets married. It's my cousin. Love him, still love him, you know, but calls me up. Like, he didn't call me, he had a third party call me. Like, hey, you know, so-and-so is getting married. You know, the wedding is on such and such a day, like 2 or 3 days away. I'm up in New England. I'm up in like Massachusetts or Connecticut. And I can remember, you know, I can remember the exact location, just not the city, but I can picture where I was. But somebody's like, you know, so-and-so, cousin so-and-so is getting married. Are you coming to the wedding? So I'm like, look, man, I'm clear up in like New England. I'm up above New York. I'm up above New York City, bro. And like the wedding is like a day or two away. And I haven't like contacted my dispatcher and told him I need to do that like a week in advance. And I knew about the wedding a year out, maybe 6 months. But no one called me to remind me of the exact date until like 2 or 3 days prior to the wedding. So I'm like, look, man, this is the thing. This is the icing on the cake. Somebody's like, you know, cuz his wife, you know, her family, they're really competitive. And we want to, you know what I'm saying, have a strong showing on our side. You know, so therefore we trying to get all the bodies, you know what I'm saying, we can of our family members. Just, you know what I'm saying, you know, get the numbers up. So now I feel like I'm being played as a pawn. Because for them 25, while I was laying it down, nobody tried to get them numbers up, you know, for me, because the administration looks and they look at your visitation records. And that's, you know what I'm saying, how they determine how they're going to treat you. If they're going to treat you, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, this person got some family members out there that love them, that fuck with them, that respect them, then, you know what I'm saying, we going to, you know what I'm saying, show them a little bit of respect. But if the person, you know what I'm saying, looks like they're dead to the world, then that administration don't give a fuck about that person. And they're going to do what the fuck they want to do. So I had a few little friends, you know, my mom's and shit before she got sick, you know what I'm saying, she used to be on the regular. Like, you know, every time she could come, she was there. But beyond that, outside of that, it was nothing, man. So now I'm looking like, wait a minute, man. You trying to play me as a pawn? I'm just gonna be a piece that you can add to the numbers. And I'm supposed to stop what I'm doing. I'm getting money. I'm out here getting money, man. I'm up in this truck getting paid. I'm making money. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm out here making money, man. So my thing was this, you know, even though I love family, fuck that wedding, man. I'm not coming, man. It's not no fucking priority for me. I'm not about to stop what the fuck I'm doing. Nobody stopped what they were doing. I'm just gonna keep it real. 100. I'm gonna deal with you the same way you dealt with me. From afar, from a distance, with a long fucking spoon. You know. And since you got your vax, since you got your jab, I don't really want to fuck too much with you, because I don't trust that shit. I'm seeing all these motherfucking young motherfuckers drop, and I'm 54, 53, 54, whatever. I don't even keep track with that shit. But I'm like 53, 54. And I haven't had no fucking, you know what I'm saying, problems. But everybody I see that was panicking about that weird ass shit, about the flu on steroids, they all, you know what I'm saying, seem to have had like serious issues. That vac, that jab, we know that's a problem. But nobody wants to address it because nobody wants to, you know what I'm saying, confront it. Nobody wants to confront the WS, the white supremacists. Because these are the same individuals, you know what I'm saying, that conducted the Tuskegee experiments. In OP, the Ohio Penitentiary, you know, they was exposing, you know what I'm saying, like African-American male inmates to like cancer to see how their bodies would react. It's a lot of fucking shit, man. It's a lot of shit. So, you know what I'm saying, you know, it ain't no giggling, hee ha ha shit today. I kind of went in, you know, on what was on my mind, and I don't have no regrets for that. I hope you like, I hope you follow, I hope you sub, you know, and, you know, I'll be back at you. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up, you know, stay strong. You know, I wish you the best. I'm out.